So I stop in a local bar, you know, people. I go to the bar. I rent my coat. I call a bartender. I said, look, man, come down here. He got down there. So what you want? One bourbon, one scotch, one beer.
Yeah, you know what that means. That's right. It's Brinkin Duddies time.
But
Something's different, though. What is it, Kyle?
I don't know. I think we got somebody else here.
Zach Brown. Zach Brown's here.
It's cold outside, boy.
You know, well, I'm a chicken fried.
You get the idea. It's a mashup.
It's a mashup, everybody.
I like chicken fried steak. It's good.
And mash.
And mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes. I like
Chicken fried steak. Do you like that better than fried chicken? Or is it?
No, because chicken fried steak is actually like a pounded out like beef fillet thing, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like them both. I have to be honest. They're,
I know.
They're both good.
Well, if you had to choose one.
Oh, for the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life. I know. Kyle hates hypotheticals.
Well, because they're not real.
Well, that's the fun of it, though.
I would probably choose fried chicken.
Oh.
Because I don't eat a lot of beef. So
I would, too.
Chicken.
I think fried chicken.
What about you, Sarah?
I would choose the steak.
The chicken fried steak.
Would you?
Yeah.
But see, the thing...
I don't even like it that much.
With fried chicken, you can do so much more. Like, if you didn't want the fried part of it, you can just rip that off and eat the chicken. It's healthier. With the fried beef thing, you can't really do much because it's caked all on there.
Yeah.
And you pull it off. So I think
Speak
you better...
for yourself.
The more you know.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, guys, welcome to another amazing episode of Fried and Brinkin Duddies
Fried
mashup.
Brinkin Duddies.
Yeah.
You got the one Kyle Shea Donkey Davis over here on one recliner. You've got the beautiful Sarah Tiana on the other recliner.
So hot.
Wow.
I got to take a picture of this. I like this. Usually I'm in one of these captain chairs over here, but I feel like I'm interviewing you
We're sitting in John's chairs tonight.
Usually I'm wearing a cat shirt.
That's
but
right.
Kyle's wearing it tonight.
Oh.
Well, you should talk out about your cat bandanas, or have you already? I can't remember what we talked about last
I don't know
time.
if we talked about having
Oh my
cat
God, I love
bandanas
your shoes, by the way.
and dog bow ties.
Those are cute.
My shoes have parrots on them.
Oh, I thought they were penguins.
Nope, they're parrots. They're
All of
very
them?
colorful parrots.
Those are
Oh
cute
wow!
parrots.
Are you a Jimmy Buffett fan?
No.
Well,
But
he has
they're parrot
heads. Yeah.
You're right.
Do you like
You're
parrots?
No.
I like
I
parrots.
like tropical. I just thought they looked tropical.
All right.
They're
I
awesome.
like a nautical look.
There you go. I like
Yeah.
it. So back to the cat bandanas. So what's going on with those?
Sticking with the nautical theme.
Yeah.
Sticking with things that love water. My mom makes cat bandanas and dog bow ties. It started as just cat bandanas, but then I got a dog, so we expanded the business.
Is this like an Etsy thing or something?
I think we have a store on Etsy. You can really just get it on catbandana.com, which is you can link through my website.
Wow.
You know, or on Instagram. But yeah, my mom makes them all by hand, and then I sell them at my shows.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing.
And bow ties, right?
And dog bow ties.
Yeah. She gave me a Carolina Panther dog bow tie.
Yeah, I did.
Nice.
Thank you.
That's
all. Can my dog wear it?
Sure. Well,
A pit bull.
maybe if you ask Sarah for one, she'll be nice and get you one.
Sarah.
What
Can't
kind
have
does your
mine.
dog like?
Well, I'm a Green Bay Packers fan, so in return, she is as well.
Okay.
Right.
I think we have Packers ones. If not, they're about to come in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
No, because those sell everywhere. There's Packers fans everywhere.
I know. There's a lot of Packers fans
like
in LA.
Steelers fans everywhere.
Steelers, and then what's the other one? The Broncos.
Cowboys.
have a lot of fans out here.
Cowboys are everywhere.
Cowboys,
Well, Cowboys are like the America's team.
Well, that's
no,
why
they're
everywhere.
not.
They are.
That's
I'm
what
not a
they-
fan. I'm just telling you. That's what their slogan is. The Americans team.
Oh.
Well,
She knows
but that's
everything there
why
is
you're
to
gonna
know.
you're gonna be called America's team if that's your slogan. That's a pretty easy way to be called America's team.
I think
And
it's
I
because
don't-
they had such a good team for a long time. That's why everybody's like loves the Yankees. I fucking hate them, but
But they were nationally syndicated too, though, right? Weren't they always on TV? So
Cowboys?
it was like, yeah, that was
probably.
like kind
I
of how
think
like
you're
the
right.
Cubs were always on WGN and the
Oh, yeah.
Braves
Yep.
on TBS. So there's like Braves and Cubs fans everywhere.
Are they still on those channels?
No, well, the Cubs might be on WGN, but the Braves aren't on TBS anymore. No,
John, you're blowing up over
which
here.
is a big bummer because when I moved to LA, that was like the best part.
Yeah.
Like, I could still watch the Braves every day.
I know, and I think we talked about this last time. Maybe I have a short-term memory as well, but I'm a huge Braves fan as well. Besides my Dodgers, so
Yeah.
love me some Chipper Jones. I got to go to Chipper Jones like last game or one of them when he was in L.A.
Oh.
and he hit a home run.
Yeah,
so
I was
that
there
was
too.
badass.
Yeah, I was there. He was
Wow.
hitting. Actually, it was the year before that he was hitting like 370 that year.
Yeah.
And then
I wonder if you
last year-
guys were at the
Last year he
same
was
game
on-
at the same time.
Well, I'm sure we were.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Well, John, we're diehard Dodgers fans. We've been at the same game several times when she was there with her boyfriend.
I'm talking about the Atlanta game. Chipper Jones hit the last.
No, we probably were there.
Yeah.
I remember where I was at Chipper's last game. I was at the Vortex because I was doing Laughing Skull that weekend, and the Braves were in the playoffs. That was the game where everybody threw everything on the field. because
This
they
was
made
at
that.
Brave State or the.
That was in Turner Field
Okay.
in Atlanta, and there was that bad call. They call it an infield fly rule. That was, and it was like an out or something like that. And so all the fans threw shit on the field, and everyone's like, "Well, it's so classless." And I was like, "What? Finally, Atlanta
Yeah.
fans are like acting like crazy
Yeah,
fans.
sure. Right.
Like our fans never do anything crazy anymore. They barely even show up. So to see everybody throw shit on the field, I was like, "Hell yeah!"
Do it.
But it was also Chipper's last game, and I was like crying because his last at bat,
So I wasn't at the last game. I was at one because they play the Dodgers quite a bit, and they play the Dodgers towards the end of the season. So I went and saw that.
Okay.
But Chipper, I was sitting. I normally sit behind the dugout on the visiting side, but this time I was sitting because the tickets were super expensive. I was sitting in the out right by the foul pole,
Oh.
and
that's normally.
but
so
the
funny. I sit out there too because I sit near the bullpen.
oh nice.
Yeah.
But the
That's
home
crazy.
run, the home run he hit came within
What if
like
you guys were sitting
three
next to
rows
each other?
of me.
Never
It was
knew
so
The
crazy.
whole time.
You look familiar.
Yes, I
Sarah,
thought I
you're gonna
saw
kick
you
back
on the
at- kick back at that
jumbotron.
recliner.
6 years
The other
ago,
button,
did
there you
I
go.
see you at the Braves game by the foul pole at Dodger Stadium?
You did. I thought I saw you there.
Oh, look,
she was
it goes even further
so cute. I
Look at
couldn't take
that.
my eyes off her. She was on the jumbotron, and I was like, "Oh my god, I need
Hey,
to meet
Sarah.
her."
I haven't ever been on the Jumbotron. I got on the Kiss Cam at the Garth Brooks concert, and I thought that was like the coolest thing ever.
Did you make out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was with my boyfriend.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would have made out with a stranger if I was on a kiss cam. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like it's you'd have to if there's a kiss cam involved. It's a lot of peer pressure.
Have you been on a Kiss Cam?
No, I would do it though. I mean, I'd kiss whoever's next. to me. I
I'd make
wouldn't
out
care.
with you, buddy.
I know you would.
Have you been
You'd
on
do that
the
without a kiss cam.
Have you been on the Jumbotron before?
Yes, I have.
Willingly or
Well,
for good reason?
When I got kicked out of the Carolina Panthers for dancing in the end zone
Oh.
back in 1996 when they played their home games in Clemson. There's a video of this. I've talked about this.
Is there the Panthers were there in 96?
I wasn't even born yet.
When were you born?
97.
Yeah, they came out. They joined the NFL in 1995, 96.
So
Yeah.
their first year that they were around, you got kicked out of the
I
stadium.
sure did.
Nice.
Fancy.
I was dancing in the stands with my friends every time out they play music, and that got bigger and bigger. So now I'm dancing on the whole rows looking at me, whole sections turning around. Third quarter, I get on the grass hill behind the goalpost because they play their home games in Clemson before they had their stadium built in Charlotte.
Okay.
And so I'm dancing up a storm on this grass hill, and the Panther, the mascot, Sir Purr, sees me dancing and decides to wave me out there to dance with him. And then I jumped over the fence. Basically, I was thrown over the fence by my friends. Start break dancing. I'm on the Jumbotron. Crowd. I'm doing the worm on the 5-yard line. And then they start booing. I'm like, wow, they don't like the worm, but they're not booing me. They're booing the cops.
Yeah, because they're running after you.
Because they didn't see Sir Purr's invitation. See, they're facing the crowd. They're not looking at the field. 'Cause look at the crowd for misbehaving people or whatever. So anyway, that's when we found out that Sir Purr did not have the authority to invite people onto the field.
He's just a mascot for crying
Yeah,
out
he's
loud.
just some idiot in a stupid costume.
Not a powerful.
So yeah, and that's a YouTube video. You could Google that.
It's funny as shit. It's
yeah,
funny
you've
as shit.
seen it.
Somebody started posting all these photos of mascots during the moment of silence.
Right. Oh, God. Did they really?
For what?
Just for anything at any game.
and what do they do?
They're just standing there, but they can't.
They can't shut their eyes.
They can't. Yeah, their faces don't change. So they just have these giant grins on their
That's
faces.
funny. Do they just look at the ground?
Yeah,
I
but
guess
they're
what do
just
you
like
do?
smiling at the ground, you know?
That's funny.
Or,
That's hilarious. I remember when I got kicked out, Sir Purr ran over to defend me. And it's a happy, smiling panther with these big eyes. And I the face doesn't change, but under the mask, I heard, "Let that motherfucker go! I told his ass to come out here." Like it's like,
Oh,
I'm like,
wow.
Sir Purr, language. There are children here.
kitty.
I apologize. My cord is draped over you.
Yeah, I was
fine.
trying to get comfortable.
It's like a little seatbelt.
Okay, there you go. Wait, before we go on, I have a jumbo thing.
Okay.
Jumbotron.
Yeah.
At I always wanted to be on one, never got on one, and then
You bought one.
no, I wish. But I did a commercial for for MLB.
Oh, that's right.
And it just happens that I happen to be a Dodger fan, so I was this guy. They would hit the ball to me, and I caught it, and then I was like cheering, and then it was from the opposite team though, so everybody's like, "Throw it back, throw it back,"
no.
and I'm on the jumbotron wearing my Dodgers uniform and throwing it back into the field.
Yeah, I
it was
remember
actually
that.
really fun.
I remember seeing that commercial.
Yeah, the commercial ran for like 3 years, and the thing that was sucked about that was it was a promo, so they paid you $300. But I didn't even care about it because I was such a diehard Dodgers fan. I was like, I'll do it because I want to be on there, and so I took all these pictures of me on the jumbotron, and
Nice.
it's pretty awesome.
Well, that's a good one to have.
I would totally throw keep the ball though. I
I
don't
would.
think
So, John, I wanted to say this because last mashup we didn't do this. So, all of our Brinkin Duddies fans, this is Sarah Tiana, and why don't you just give us a little bit of a rundown of who you are, what you do,
Oh, yeah.
where you're from, because we never did that last
We
time.
that's
never
true.
did that?
We're
Nope.
introducing you to our Brinkin Duddy people.
Oh,
We tried to do
Sarah?
it last time, and we were about to say something, and then we got off on another tangent and never said anything.
That's what happens.
Well, my name's Sarah Tiana. I'm from Calhoun, Georgia. You probably heard of it. We have a Nike outlet. And
This is an intervention.
I do stand up. And I have a podcast with John Reap called Fried.
That's
and
right.
John and I were both on the Brad Paisley special on Netflix together.
Yes.
And we opened at the Hollywood Bowl for Brad Paisley together.
We're hilarious.
We've known each other for a long time.
Nice.
Yep.
But this is like our first year of like really
Yeah.
becoming better friends.
So it's I thank Al Madrigal for that. He's just like
Mm-hmm.
I called him up. It's like I want to start another podcast. He's like, how about you and Sarah?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's perfect.
Is it because you guys got the same accent?
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it
that's
is.
the whole thing. It's like our
yeah.
thing says just two Southern
Fried,
comedians trying to make it
Southern,
in Southern
yeah.
California. Ye fucking haul.
Anyway, they
So-
know how. So yeah, so me and John are both, Southern folk who do Southern things, and that's how we know each other, just from stand up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So when did you move out to L.A.?
2001.
2001 from
January,
Calhoun.
from
Right.
Georgia, from
Yep.
Atlanta, because I was working in
And we
Atlanta.
heard the story last time how
Yeah,
you got that. I
Six
love that.
Flags.
Yes.
But you didn't know she also was a DJ, a wedding DJ. I found that out today.
Oh, so you're just like that DJ Khaled Green?
No,
or whatever
she
his
actually
name
does
is?
No,
stuff.
I do stuff. I know how to
Right.
actually set up the equipment.
Oh, okay. That guy doesn't DJ. He just says, "Come on, DJ Khaled
I
Green. I got a
DJ
kid." And
He
Yeah.
just points at the crowd and says his
says
name.
his name. It is so frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to DJ weddings and bar mitzvahs and high school dances
That
and
sounds
stuff.
like
And that's
fun.
how I got into stand up.
No,
Yeah.
so you were like hosting. You'd say a couple of jokes here and there to the crowd.
No, actually, the people that I was DJing with kept telling me how funny I was. I never heard I was funny till I moved to LA.
Oh,
I just thought, I didn't realize my life was any different. 'Cause
Right.
I thought, oh, everybody has a daycare center in their high school. Like, I didn't know that mine was like any different. So,
wow.
yeah.
Daycare center in your high school. That is pretty classic.
John and I were talking about weddings
Yeah.
on our podcast a little bit ago, and it was like, I didn't really get to go to a lot of weddings growing up because most of my friends got married right out of high school
Right.
or and I was like working at Six Flags. I was working and in college, and I couldn't go home.
Married with babies pretty quick.
Well, let me tell you something. You probably didn't miss out much because those weddings back then were like, "Hey, why don't y'all come over to my backyard? We're gonna throw on a couple of pigs and have ourselves some naughty ice, and it'll be a fun time."
The
Well,
fake
that-
flowers at weddings were
Although to
always
be
my
honest with you,
favorite.
that actually sounds like a lot of fun.
As you're saying that, I'm going like, yeah.
That sounds like the kind of wedding I would love to have
Yeah.
Yeah.
now. But yeah, the fake flowers always made me laugh at weddings, or the ones that are in like the church basement. That's where the reception is.
They're all dusty as fuck.
Oh.
Bringing them up.
Yeah, my sister had a dry wedding. That was really hard. I almost didn't go.
Dry wedding means no alcohol, right?
Yeah,
Ooh,
I
Gross.
know.
that sounds awful.
Yeah.
You actually have to like speak to people
Why?
and
Is that because it was at the church? I mean,
Yeah, it was just more of his family.
My brother's was that way. His first marriage.
By the second one, you're like, well, we're already divorced, so
The second one, they've just drunk the whole time. No.
Well, he drank probably through his whole marriage, and that's why he has a second one. I'm just kidding.
He got married the first time. It was like what your sister's was. It was very, very like just Baptists don't drink, so Catholics will
in
drink.
public.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, they say like if you go fishing with a Baptist, he brings a 6-pack of soda. If he goes by himself, he brings a 6-pack of beer.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Hey, did you ever catch that hummingbird in your apartment?
What?
Yeah, there was a hummingbird stuck in my house.
I remember. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
How'd that get in there?
So I was.
You got to check out this video on her page.
My door was just open to my house because I was riding with my friend Patrick. He's my riding partner. It was early in the morning because we ride from like 7 a.m. to 9 before he goes to work.
Oh, okay.
And so my door's open so that my dog can sit on the front porch and bark at the neighborhood. And this, I thought it was a horsefly that flew into my house.
That's a big ass horsefly, Sarah.
And then we realized and then Patrick was like, "Oh my God, that's a hummingbird." And I was like, "What? No." And then, it stops, and then you're like, "Oh my God!" And my dog's going crazy because my dog's biggest nemesis are flies. He loves catching. Like he gets so mad at flies.
Yeah.
Like just constantly like jumping up,
tries
trying
to
to
bite
grab
them in the air.
Yeah, and he catches them. He catches them all the time.
That's funny.
So he's going nuts. So I'm like, what do we do? What do we do? I'm trying to like guide it out, and it's not doing anything but flying the opposite way. So I close all the doors in my house, and then we YouTube videoed how do you get a hummingbird out of your house.
Was there an actual fucking?
Yes, there were several.
That's hilarious.
And so what you have to do is like corner it with a rake or a broom.
Okay.
And then it'll tire itself out, and it'll land on the broom. We had a Swiffer, so it landed on the Swiffer, and then we just carried it outside on that.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Have you seen this video of the owl?
No.
I have. I know exactly what
funny
you're
is
talking
that?
about.
You just said the owl, and you were like, I have seen it.
Because
like,
It's legendary.
there's
There's only one video of an owl?
No, there's a lot of, but I know exactly which one he's talking about because somebody just
Because
recently
it
posted
lands
it.
on a Swiffer.
Yeah. And then it just
Look what you did.
If you watch it and then the owl the eyes are crazy and it's like going like this.
Okay, so there's an
You
owl.
can't really see it, but
So an owl flies in
People
someone's.
listening to this are like, oh, I see what you mean.
yeah.
An owl flies in someone's house, like with you with a hummingbird, and the person's freaking out. They're videotaping it, and they're like, and the owl's just like, they have these intense eyes, so they put the Swiffer right up on it, and it just sits on it, and now he's slowly trying to go out the window with it, and the owl the whole time is just like.
Staring him down.
Yeah, like
straight.
come on, me, bro.
Yeah, but and then the guy was like, please don't do anything to me. Please don't just stop right there. Don't do it.
Please don't peck my eyes out.
Yeah. So that's what. When I saw that, I thought of that video. It's pretty funny.
So I immediately filled the hummingbird food because I was like, well, clearly this was a message to me.
Right. Yeah. And on the owl one, but so they ended up just shooting it and eating it. But
He's at Hooters right now.
Yeah.
I heard those hummingbirds have quite a lot of meat on them. I don't know.
Yeah,
They eat a lot of those.
Yeah, little chicken wings.
Yeah, he finally
I'm
stopped flapping.
joking. I would never kill anything unless I was hungry.
Kyle, have you ever hunted?
No, if you know me, I can't stand hunting, and I do eat a lot of vegetarian food.
Yeah, Kyle's wife's a
Leaves.
vegetarian, and Sarah's trying to be vegetarian.
Nah, forget it.
Have you given up already?
I pretty much have given up because I just constantly cheat.
It's okay to eat like I'm not a full vegetarian. I still eat stuff, but I eat a lot more fruits and vegetables than I do meat.
It's definitely my main goal is to just like eat a lot of fruits and vegetables.
Did you ever hunt growing up?
No.
See?
My dad did, and my sister does, and my brother-in-law does, and I went with my dad once when I was little, and he never let me go back because I made too much noise and asked too many questions.
But would you?
He'd be like, "Be quiet." And I'm like, "These leaves are loud. Like I can't just like walk quietly."
Do you remember if he killed anything while you were there?
No, he definitely didn't kill anything. I mean, he basically didn't kill anything through my entire life. I think he killed one deer.
Oh, okay.
And it's been hanging in my sister's house for 10 years, and I make them take it down when I come in there.
Well, see,
to
it's sad.
Yeah.
People always, and the hunters always try to say, well, you know what, you buy the meat in the goddamn store. I'm like, yeah, but if I had to actually kill that thing, I wouldn't eat the meat. So I understand what you're saying.
But since you've already killed it, go ahead and have it.
And they're like, yeah, but there's so many deer out there. They're overpopulated. They're eating all our flowers and the thing. I'm like, well, put up a fucking fence. Why do you need to kill the deer? I don't get it.
Yeah,
but
what was it? These big game hunters in Africa.
Oh yeah.
Oh, just terrible.
There's like all these.
There's no reason to do that.
Elephant meat. How often do you eat elephant meat?
And then they always say, well, no, the villagers want us to do it, and then they give all the meat to them. And
Right.
it's like,
Sure, yeah.
really? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You fucking probably gut it out and then feed it to the animals that are out and about in the wilderness, and then you haul it off
Sell
to
the fur and
California
the
or whatever. And
What's the one thing that you could not give up because of the vegetarian? Like what was it that you cheated the
What's
most?
hard is cheese.
Cheese.
well,
Cheese is
that's
really
vegan though.
No.
Yeah, I was going vegan.
Right. She was.
Oh,
trying to
you
be
were going
vegan.
vegan.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
like cheese and eggs, like eggs are in everything,
Yeah.
and that's so hard.
Yeah, fuck that. I can't. go
Yeah.
vegan.
It's
So
in mayonnaise. You can't. You have to give up
Yeah.
mayonnaise.
Mhm.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, vegan mayonnaise actually tastes
It's
better
pretty
than
good.
I
regular
was about
mayonnaise.
to say that.
also, vegan butter is really good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that are vegan.
Vegan
that are
cheese is good, too.
I just don't want to have to make it myself.
Yeah, I actually have tried to cut. I actually buy this like fermented cashew cheese that tastes just like cream cheese.
Really?
I mean, it has
Ooh.
the same consistency and like you would not be able to tell the
Is
difference.
that like Trader Joe's or something?
No, you have to get it at the farmer's market. But it comes whipped and in different flavors, and it's great. And
It
it
sounds
melts,
really good.
which is hard, It's really come a long way, vegan stuff. But like the biggest problem for me was that I felt like I was eating less healthy because when it came to snacks, I was eating a lot of things out of boxes and bags.
Right.
And those are just full of processed food. And so I was like, yeah, forget it, So I try to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables during the week, and then I eat a little bit more meat
There
on
you
the
go.
weekends.
I always thought that was funny, John, that like when you see people who are vegan or vegetarian, a lot of times they're not all of them, but a lot of them seem to be overweight a little bit. And I'm always like,
true.
If you're
Those
eating,
French
if
fries
you're
are
eating,
vegan.
if you're eating so healthy or whatever,
Yeah.
why do you weigh more than I do when I'm eating the regular stuff? And it's because
French fries.
they can't eat anything, but like there's a lot of carbs involved.
Lots
and
of
Oh
things
yeah,
like
because
that.
everything's made of beans.
Yeah,
and
so-
beans are like
All
all
carbs.
carbs, and so are nuts.
Yep.
Nuts are huge in carbs. Even though they're full of protein, they still have carbs. So it's like everything is made into that.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear
I'm glad we
about
ate those
this.
tacos because now I'd be starving.
Nobody wants to hear.
I
about
still
our
am hungry, but
diets.
so on this thing we just did a little Kevin Ramos, we did a taco trial. So I stopped it before I came over. I stopped at Del Taco, Taco Bell, and Jack in the Box, and got tacos. And we did it. Can you hear me, John?
No, I'm worried about will you shut that door? I don't want neighbors to come over here.
Now,
Yeah. Will you shut the
Idiot.
door? No, I saw someone walking around out there. So I have a neighbor named Wally. Very interesting guy. I'm a fan. He does voiceovers, a lot of voiceovers.
Yeah.
You've probably heard him. You fly American Airlines?
no.
Oh.
I fly Delta.
He does the voice of American Airlines, like, please fasten your seatbelt.
Oh.
Yeah, he does that. And he used to be the guy that goes like, tonight on the Jay Leno show. But he was the
Wow.
announcer.
That's neat.
But he's done everything.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's always out here with his dog.
He's got a collie.
Yes, it's the third or fourth descendant of Lassie. He'll
my
talk
God.
your head off about it.
Oh, geez.
Good guy, but he comes out here with his dog all the time, and he
then he can-
he's a flashlight on his head.
Yeah, he does have
There
a
he is.
flashlight on his head. That is.
Well, that's so he can see the dog poop.
He's a
pick it
miner.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
He's
when
mining for dog shit.
when I first moved here, before I had these shutters put in, there was nothing there. There's no curtain, nothing, right? So I was like, no furniture yet, just kind of in here looking around. And I look outside and I see Wally. I hadn't met him yet. Is standing on the other side of my little fence there, just doing this.
With the
just,
light shining into
just
your eyes.
staring at me. And I kind of caught him looking, and I just kind of give him a heads up, and he just kind of kept staring at me. I'm like, and he looks like a strange cat, like he's got long, he's like
Right.
a heavy metal dude, but he's the nicest, sweetest guy ever. But And then I had him on a podcast a long time ago, and I said, dude, you creeped me out when I first met you. He's like, yeah, I couldn't even see you. So I thought he could see me, and I was waving at him. But anyway, that's why I wanted to shut the door, because I didn't want him to.
Wally!
Have you had any weird neighbors? Have you ever had, like, terrible neighbors that are, like...
Yes.
Or great neighbors?
Well, yes. Over here, to my right.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Everyone
where?
at the home can see where I'm pointing.
Over where? Oh, there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look at your phone.
I see it.
Over here.
Just people who are listening, look to your left.
Yeah.
Sure.
You're right.
There are two, there's a lesbian couple right here. And they argue very loud. Oh, I think about what my dad
I
said
think about
earlier.
what your dad said on
Oh
the
my God.
podcast the other day. He's like,
Something-
these two dykes moved in next door.
Oh, my God.
But their last name is Dyke.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's the real, and there's
he
a
loves
couple
that
of them.
joke. And I was
hilarious.
like, oh, no, Mr. Reed.
You can't call him that. No,
He goes,
no.
well, that's their last name.
I was like, oh, Mr.
He's
Reed.
like, yeah, they
so
also have a
Southern.
rabbit, so I left some shit on their porch.
Yeah, you have to go back and listen to that story.
Oh, God, that scared the crap
But
out of me.
I knew, that's why I started laughing immediately. Like,
I was like, okay, John's okay with it. I guess I'll be fine with it.
yeah,
What am I going to
'cause
say?
He'll explain it in a minute. But there are two lesbians over here, a couple, and they get in the loudest arguments. I'm talking. I went back.
You didn't go to my softball game. I didn't know you wanted me to come to your softball game.
Right. And I mean, they were yelling so loud. I heard furniture moving, like they were like going to throw it at each other.
Ooh, then-
I'm surprised cops haven't been called, but that gets annoying sometimes.
Is that the one who I helped move the painting?
No,
The one
that's
day?
a neighbor of them.
Oh.
She lives right next to
Okay.
him.
I mean,
yeah.
it's still domestic violence if you hit
Yeah,
a woman. If a woman hits a woman, right?
I believe it is.
Is it still
Yeah.
domestic violence when a man hits a woman?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
It has been.
Well, I
Well, if you're,
apologize.
A lot
well,
longer.
it's domestic violence if you're a couple.
Honey, I apologize.
Yeah, but if you're married, you don't have to testify.
Right, if you're
you
married,
just hit a woman, that's not domestic. That's just violence.
I thought if you're married, it's not considered that. It's just considered like brother-sister love, almost.
now you're acting real Southern.
Well,
right
when
now.
you're married for so long, you end up like, and I'm not even joking. Sometimes we do this. We don't do it as much anymore because we have a kid now, so we don't want to show us hitting each other. But like when I grew up with my brother and my cousins, we were constantly like, hit me in the arm. Let's see who can hit each other the hardest, punching each other. So sometimes me and my wife get in a little arm punching contest.
really?
Yeah, swear to God.
Well, okay.
well,
like I said.
they beat the crap out of each other, but in a loving way.
But it's like a joke. It's
Yeah.
like give a little smack,
Yeah.
punch,
It's not like,
things like
you know.
that.
My boyfriend and I call each other dumb.
Well,
Like, hey, dummy, what are you doing?
if you heard the stuff
God,
I
you'd
said
fit
to my
right in
wife,
with him.
Yeah, and then, but like whenever people hear us out, I'm like, oh my God, we have to be quiet because like not everybody knows our situation. He's like, go ahead and order with your dumb girl brain, you know? And like the waiter's like, oh my God, and I'm like, I'm just like laughing, and he's like, oh, this poor girl.
I can already
should
see
try to
like when your
rescue her.
boyfriend gets up, they're like, "Ma'am, do you need us
Yeah,
to
do you
call
need
the?"
Yeah.
Blink if you need help.
I'm like, one day I'm just gonna be like, yes.
Yes. Cops will show up at Outback Steakhouse, sir. We're gonna have to ask you to stand up.
Not till I'm done with my blooming onion. I'm taking it to go.
You can get a free blooming onion every Monday.
My
What?
Yeah.
what?
I get
Why, when you complain to the manager?
No, I get emails all the time, like random emails, like Bloomin' Monday,
You get
Bloomin'
emails
Tuesday.
from Outback.
'Cause
He signs up. He's that guy.
No. The funny thing is once you go there, they have your information from your credit card, and they seek it. They can do anything, and I don't go a ton, but me and my wife go there once in a while. And me and John have been there a few times.
I like Outback.
I do too. Actually, out of all the chain restaurants that serve that stuff, they actually have pretty good food there.
So what you're telling me is every Wednesday?
Monday.
Monday.
It was Monday, and then I just got a thing yesterday saying, we've changed it now. It's Bloomin' Tuesday. And they have Monday crossed out with Tuesdays. And I was like, well goddamn,
Tuesday
that's Taco
sounds better.
Tuesday, motherfuckers.
Oh, because Monday is
Oh,
probably
yeah.
Monday Night Football, so they're like, no, too many
Yeah.
people come in.
Oh,
Yeah.
We
What's
better
our
slow
weakest
this
day?
down.
And since they were forced to put calories on that,
Ooh, yeah.
it dropped probably 30% of people
Yeah.
buying it. It's like, I'll take a Bloomin' Onion. They list calories, 4,980 calories.
It's
Is that
so
your
many calories.
Yeah, a blooming onion.
Yeah.
Yeah. It tastes so good though.
Oh, God, it's
believe it.
fantastic. I'd like to eat one right now.
Like how? It's an onion. It's a fried onion.
It's all that breading they put on it, and I guess they're counting the sauce that you dip it in, right?
Yep, it's like ranch or some shit.
Yeah, it's really good.
Oh, God, Bloomin' Onion.
We're just making everybody hungry right now.
That's true.
Have you ever had a bad neighbor, an awesome neighbor, like most memorable neighbor?
I'm gonna have to plead the fifth in case they hear this.
What? No, no.
Really?
Tell
You're
her.
on that good of terms with
Didn't
your
you
neighbors?
tell her
that
you have had a neighbor in the past that has sex with the windows open?
Oh well, it's technically.
Did we talk about that?
Well, see, I'm not as I blew all my money in Vegas when I made all my money back in the day, so I still live in a fucking apartment complex. But there's an apartment complex next to me where the dude likes to leave his window and blinds open and bang his girlfriend in front of the mirror, the full length mirror. So I just walk in, and all you can hear is the like smacking and like going crazy. And me and my wife sometimes just go in there and we're like, all right, yeah, guys,
We got a free live porno outside of our window.
But this happens a lot. And then I see the dude walking his dog outside, and I'm just like, huh, cool,
Just
man.
saw what you did in there, buddy.
He's got a nice little bulldog.
I won't be shaking your hand.
But yeah, so that happens all the time. I wouldn't consider that a bad neighbor, but
Yeah.
he's a little crazy. But I've
I don't
always
like loud sex neighbors.
Huh?
no.
No, I don't like loud sex neighbors.
No, because it makes when I hear that, I've been on like a honeymoon type situation, or just a nice vacation with
Yeah.
my wife at the time, and we would hear people
Yeah.
next to us banging it out. And I'm jealous. I'm
Really?
like, we should be doing that. Why aren't we doing that? And I'm like, and she's like, well, maybe later. And so then I get kind of mad.
Maybe like
I'm like, no, they're having more fun than us. That cannot be. We're in Hawaii. We should be doing this. Yeah.
Oh, but Hawaii, it's so hot.
yes.
I don't know, yeah. I also never really understand why people make that loud of the noise. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, I feel like that's not
Yeah.
necessary.
I think a lot of people they pick up what they're watching porns and movies, and
Yeah.
they think they have to be that.
No, I think I've only been with one girl who was actually like, she screamed my name. This when I first moved to Hollywood, and we lived in this apartment. And I remember it was like a Melrose place. Everybody was fucking everybody.
Yeah.
And so I remember we'd go up there and we'd get into it, and then she'd just start screaming my name. And it took everything into me not to just like put my hand over her
Yeah.
mouth and be like, shut the fuck up. Please. Shut up. Everybody can hear
It's
you.
like
Windows
that movie
open.
Porky's.
There you go.
Remember that one girl? Did you ever see Porky's? The
yeah,
movie?
I think I remember.
There was
Well,
one
my
girl,
dad
like-
used to love that movie, so I remember walking in when it was on or something.
Yeah, lots of nudity, and there was one girl. If you got her in the men's locker room area, and she smelled like socks or something, like men's stuff. She
Oh,
would
if
she would
she
scream.
smelled it.
She would howl. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. And that girl was also she later went on to be the chick from Sex and the City.
Roseanne Barr.
The first lady? I was like, so many different ways. that went.
Wow, those two opposites of the spectrum too. That's great.
They're both Trump supporters.
Yes, exactly. Oh, there you go. Sorry.
No, but she was on Sex and the City, the hot one.
Samantha?
Yeah. Was that the
Yeah.
hot one?
Yes.
The one that played Mannequin? The movie
Mannequin,
Mannequin? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So that was
Well,
her.
she was this. They were all pretty hot, but she was the highly sexual
Yes.
one.
Yeah. Well, in Mannequin, she was really hot. And
Oh,
in Porky's,
yeah.
even hotter.
I love
she was
the
in
movie
Porky's?
Mannequin.
That's the one
That's
that would
what you were
howl.
just saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Come on, Sarah. Listen, open those
She gets
ears.
naked in that too.
Well,
Yeah, dude.
I don't know if I've ever had a really good my neighbor right now, I have a
oh yeah. Sorry. Hey, Sarah, have you ever had a good or
One
bad
of us should have
neighbor
asked by now.
before?
No, I was the one that started the question, so I figured I'd bring it back.
Oh,
But I have a gayber right now, and he
oh
like,
Nelly, that's like calling lesbian dykes now.
Gay
he's
neighbor,
my
gayber.
gayber.
Yeah.
And he always did like casting for commercial, like non-union commercials with like real people, and like that market has started to slow and dry
Right.
up. So he is like,
You told us a little bit about this. I remember last time, but you didn't tell us
Why he's-
about the bad neighbor thing or anything. But
I
you
don't know.
did tell us.
He's actually awesome because like we've had our fights in the beginning to where like I live in a duplex, so we share
Right.
a wall. So like our landlord put a fence in the middle of our yard, but then like everything's been fine because he's definitely calmed down. I think because like the stresses of his job have
Right.
slowed down, but like he comes from a family like a real like Italian family.
Yeah.
In St. Louis,
Uh-huh.
and they own an Italian restaurant. So he started making his own limoncello. I think maybe I told you.
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I love.
And he just made some like blood orange limoncello. It is literally it. And then he just started making bone broth. Like which is
yeah.
like super, like just good for you
Yeah.
to drink for your
Yeah.
soul.
It's got cartilage. Well, it's good for your body. It's got
Yeah.
all the cartilage in there.
Yeah, and
Right.
it just helps with healing and protein. Yeah, good. It's all the good parts of the meat for your body. And so,
When you go out to eat and they have on the menu sometimes bone marrow.
Yeah.
You ever get that?
I've actually had it before.
Is
that's
it good?
It's not bad. You can, especially you go to a good restaurant, you take it and
Okay.
you put it and spread it on bread. And
don't get it at
It's like
Outback.
Vegemite.
They don't. Yeah, they don't have it at Outback, but at fancy restaurants they do have it, and it's not. It's
It
not
tastes
bad.
like a flavorful, like the rim of the steak. It
Yeah.
kind of, it tastes like
Oh, so is it chewy?
no.
No.
It's like a
almost
paste?
like gristly, but like
It's like gelatinous. It's
yeah.
Gelatinous.
it's not a fat, but it's. I don't know how to.
So if you
explain.
order it and a big bone comes out,
a dense
you just eat it
protein.
like in the middle, and it's like
They take the bone, they put it in like a pan, and they roast it for an hour or maybe even longer, and then it loosens up all the cartilage inside of the bone. And you take in the little small spoon, you take it and smear it on some nice crusty bread,
Yeah.
and chomp it down. It's delicious.
Yeah.
have you ever eaten at Lala's? Or
Oh, the
Argentine-
Argentinian
so goddamn
place? It's been a
good.
long time.
You got to
We
go
love
there.
that place.
It's so fantastic.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite places.
There's one here in the
Right
valley.
here.
Right, right. That's the one we
but
go
there's
to.
one on Melrose that I went to when I
I've
first
never
moved
been
here.
to that one, but this one here in the valley is really good.
Have you ever ordered sweetbread?
Sweetbread, no.
Okay.
I
Kyle,
always used to see that on Top Chef. What is that?
Do you
tell
know
her what
sweetbreads
sweetbread
is?
is.
No. That's
See,
what
I
just
made the
said.
mistake once
That's
of
why,
ordering it.
Kyle, I said, what is that?
Well, I kind of zoned out. Sorry.
I talked over it too. so go
Yeah,
ahead.
the woman's talking.
Sweetbreads are the glands of animals. They're absolutely disgusting. I would
Like
never try.
the sweat gland, like the tonsils.
I don't know how to. No, I don't know if animals have tonsils, but
I'm thinking lymph nodes right now. I don't think that's it.
It's-
Some sort of gland.
it's glandule things anyway.
very
I
chewy.
hope every person listening to
I
this
know.
is a chef and just yelling at their phone. Right
Well,
I'm gonna
yeah, and you know,
Google it
in
right
like fancy restaurants, because always in fancy restaurants, they're like, "Hey, let's serve the shittiest part of the animals and
Yeah.
charge a fortune for it, and then you're gonna like it,"
Yeah.
which is so stupid because I don't want to eat brains, I don't want to eat sweetbreads, I don't want to eat.
Like, I'm not Japanese.
yeah,
Give
I
me
don't-
just the regular stuff.
I don't
Well,
want
what
to eat.
sucks is if you don't know what it is and you just see the word sweet bread,
Don't get it.
that sounds amazing,
Yeah,
right?
you're like,
I like
is
bread.
this like monkey bread, but
Ooh, I like
savory?
sweet.
monkey bread's delicious.
Is this a savory monkey bread?
Okay, the thymus gland,
which is-
or rarely the pancreas of an animal,
Gross.
especially used for food.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
yeah.
like pate, like the liver.
Is it
like
man?
gross.
But they batter it
chewy.
up and they fry it up and then serve it like that. And
It's disgusting.
Ugh.
I ordered it thinking it was going to be like a bread, like an appetizer,
Uh-huh,
and I'm
and?
like, I started chewing. I was like, "What is this?" Well,
God.
it's glands. That's thymus glands from a
God.
gullet.
ugh.
Yeah,
That's
it's not
like when
good.
people first order menudo. You know what that is, right?
Yes,
It's a tripe
I had
soup.
all their albums.
Tripe is cow intestine, and it's a very important meal
It's
to
a soup.
Mexicans
Mexican
I
and
see
soup.
stuff like
tripe
that.
on Vietnamese menus.
Well, oh, you do?
Like in pho, like that they have, it's like part
Yeah,
of the
they
meat
do- you
for
can do it in there.
Koreans and
Yeah, you got to
Vietnamese.
be careful with a lot of stuff. I just eat can I get the chicken, the faux guy, please? Yeah, that'll be fine with me. Thank
What
you
is
so
that?
much.
What are you talking about?
That's
pho,
chicken.
the Vietnamese soup.
Oh,
And it's actually
yeah. Faux
pronounced.
gras.
It's actually pronounced pho.
Pho. Yeah.
It's spelled
Pho.
pho, which makes you so mad. I'm like,
PHO.
if you want to call it pho, spell it like pho. Don't spell it faux.
I
So
know.
all the
So
Americans,
is it a lot of noodles?
You've never had pho?
you explain it to her. So
So pho is a Vietnamese soup that's like it takes 8 days
I've
to
had
prepare.
So
fake
good.
pho, which is faux
faux show.
No,
faux show.
just
faux
go
shizzle.
ahead and laugh at that again.
I've had
one
faux
more
shizzle.
time.
Me and Sarah aren't laughing though,
No,
John.
not
Wow.
at all.
It's not for you. It's for me.
Well,
Continue.
now they're super popular. When I first moved here, you could really only get it in Orange County.
Oh, really?
And deep in the valley.
Now they're
Because
all over
Now
the
they're
place,
everywhere.
yeah.
Well, when I lived in Atlanta, huge Vietnamese community in Atlanta, I worked for a Vietnamese doctor called Dr. Linh Duc Nguyen. And I didn't tell you guys this. So
Linh Duc
Dr.
Nguyen.
Linh Duc Nguyen, that's how you say it. Linh Duc Nguyen.
Yeah.
And Dr. Nguyen, he only knew how to say
He was down faux show.
for show.
Faux show.
So the ladies that worked there were like Cambodian and Vietnamese,
Okay.
and they used to order it all the time. So they taught me how to eat it, and I just like fell in love with it. So then I moved to LA, and I'm like, where is this? You know, it's also the best soup ever for a hangover because it's so salty.
Okay. Or when
So
you're sick, too. It's really good.
And spicy, so it holds in all the water in your body.
Okay.
You retain water, so you stay
that's
a
good to
little
know.
hydrated. Yeah, but Dr. Wynn was so funny. Like, because nobody ever knows how to say Wynn. It's like, because it's spelled Nguyen.
Right. It looks like,
you're like,
yep.
Nguyen? You're
Yeah.
like, no,
Right.
not in the South. Like,
Are you
everybody in the
related to
South. Like,
Ted Nguyen?
yeah.
Ted Nugent?
So his son, Pete, was one of my best friends in college, Peter Wynn. And
Way to give him the most American first name.
yeah. And like, so I just would like laugh hysterically every class that we had where like the teachers trying to say their name. But Dr. Wynn only knew 3 words. He knew yes, please, and thank you. And he would say them all together. So I'd be like, good morning, Dr. Wynn. He's like, yes, please, thank you, Sarah. Like that, all at once. Like, no matter what. I'm like, Dr. Wynn, you have a phone call. Yes, please.
What kind
thank
of
you, Sarah."
doctor was he that he
He's like
only,
a general practitioner.
and he could only, so people are talking to him and they're like, he's like,
Oh, no, they were all Vietnamese.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so all the clients, like none of them really spoke English. So
Okay.
I was like, I had to learn like Vietnamese money so that I could take their.
I'm not joking.
money.
This could be a fucking TV show.
I did not know
A
anything.
hardcore Southern girl works in a
Yeah.
general practitioners where they only speak Vietnamese, and the guy knows yes, please, and thank you.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Sarah.
And none of them did nails. Like they all just did. I swear to God, they were just all. I didn't even know Vietnamese people did nails until I moved to LA.
That
Oh,
is
yeah.
so
Yeah.
funny.
That's everywhere here.
It was like a whole thing. And you know what? How that all started? This is also
No,
crazy.
please.
Do I even? Maybe this is boring.
No.
But like, so I guess when during Vietnam, when the Mao was in Cambodia and
Mao
like
Zedong.
over all the people after that war, like the people were devastated and tons of people were without children and
Right.
women, like there'd be like these villages of people with just like orphan children running around and women laying around like not doing anything because
Yeah.
they're just so depressed and laying around and this one woman that came in to try to help them, like an older lady who had kind of worked for like the higher rankings of the government and she had survived, she started teaching all these women like how to do certain things like
Right.
sweep, like cook,
Okay.
like things to just take their mind off of all the trauma and tragedy that they had been through. And then she taught them to give manicures and pedicures. And that was because they hadn't touched another human being
Okay.
in a caressing, soft way in so long. And they hadn't been touched in a way that was sincere.
Okay.
Not by a man or a woman or anything. So these women started giving each other manicures and pedicures.
Right.
And that's how they started talking to each other
Yeah.
and learning to cope and get over the
Oh,
situation.
so it's like it was a healing. It's like a
Very-
healing
So that
thing.
started as a healing exercise,
Wow.
and then it just became like this
And then
thing that they were good at.
And then what happened was with after the clippings and stuff like that, that's how they first started making pho. They would put the clippings into these soup.
Stop.
And they
You're
would
talking
make,
about the nail clippings, and that's not true. Like John is still in it.
No,
He's like,
in
what
my
clippings?
brain, I forgot that pho was faux. I'm like, what the
okay.
hell's pho?
Sorry. My apologies.
You know, it's funny. Like I came off the airplane the other day. You know how sometimes they have people waiting with wheelchairs for the elderly people, like right there at the
Always, yeah.
on the
Yep.
on the bridge, whatever. I came off and I saw a lady holding a sign, and it said "Dong Fan" PHAN.
That's a popular
I'm a
name.
Dong fan.
Dong Fan. And it took everything in me
Yeah.
not to say you
I'm
like
a Dong fan.
You're a Dong fan, huh? All right.
I'll say, is that Sue taking?
But she's standing there holding an iPad saying "Dong Fan."
You're like dibs.
Yep. This is seat take.
Those
I have a
people
dog.
must
If you're
hate.
a fan.
They fucking hate white people. Every time we see a name, they're
Oh,
just-
this wasn't a white. This
the people who are holding up Dong fan signs. They're just like, really? You can't
Well,
you can't get over that, white
that's
people.
just
no. This
airport.
was not an Asian person holding the sign.
No, it's just the person that works for the airline.
Yeah, this was a lovely African American lady who was very beautiful,
You
and
know,
I
they
wanted to
all-
say hi, Dong Fan. That's me. I mean,
if you're a dong
I
fan,
mean, yeah.
I'm your man. Before they got there, they were all making that joke before.
Probably.
Yeah, as soon as they printed it out, they're like, Shanine, you ain't not going to believe this.
I'm picking up Dong fan.
Who? Who you picking
So
up?
funny, man.
That's my
man.
favorite.
I should have stuck around just to see who it was, and but
Did you say you should have stuck?
stuck around? How dare you?
That's
like-
Stookin'.
That's like me saying literally instead of literally.
Yeah, he can't. He cannot say the
I
word.
say like literally, like Little Italy almost.
he can't say literally. He says literally.
What do you, is there any word that you can't say?
Most
I
of
mean,
them.
besides hello, goodbye,
Most of
I
them.
love you. Just kidding.
I can't
Sarah's
can't
got
say
the
no.
choppers out. She's getting vicious.
That's what she does.
This is all I do to him. It's like, and he doesn't even realize I'm making fun of
Oh,
him.
I
on
do.
our other-
She's in roast mode all the time. She can't stop. I'm gonna get another drink. You guys want something?
Yeah. You know what I would really like is a straw.
Oh, that's not really a drink, but we'll get you one. Why don't you get me a beer, motherfucker? Please, please, bless your heart.
Do you,
It's just me and Sarah now.
now it's me and you.
So now we can have the
Do you
real
think
show.
he's actually a dong fan?
What's that?
Do you think he's really a dong fan and he just like doesn't want us to know?
Yes, he really is. So, people, I don't know if you know this, but John really is into dongs, and he's definitely a fan of
Who do you
them.
think his favorite dong is? Dong.
Dong King,
Yeah.
Dong King's Dong.
Dong Irera. Dong Irera.
I don't know. I think he's a fan of a lot of dongs. He's a fan of my dong. I know that for sure.
Oh, my dong is my manicurist actually.
Oh, is it really? Oh my god.
Well, Maya, but her real name is Maya. Yeah. Maya Dong.
My dong. Hi. What'd you say, John? Oh.
You want to be
Okay.
a stand-up?
Well, I've been an actor for 20 years, and I don't even remember if we said anything about this last time because we just kind of went off on tangents. But so I was good friends with Louis Anderson for quite a long time.
Anybody I've heard of, or
Louis Anderson.
I'm just joking.
I know. Hey, I get your
No, no, no,
sarcasm,
I love him. No,
young
I love
lady.
him. I love him. I love him.
Survey says
Basket.
Kyle.
Basket.
Anyway, did you bring me a beer? You, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Two things. You've got a straw and a Coors Light. I think you had too many
Well,
dongs on your
Why
mind.
did you take your drink back?
So I was friends with Louis. We don't really keep in touch too much anymore, but I was friends with him for a long time. And so I used to go to stand-up shows a lot, like all the time. He was always doing stuff either in Vegas or he was the headliner at Comedy Store for a long time. And I remember he was like, Kyle, you should give it a go. Maybe he's like, I'll give you a 5-minute set. And I was like, what? I was like, I don't even know how to. What do you?
Yeah.
I don't even know how to do stand up. I don't want to do that. He's like, just go ahead, fuck it, you'll learn. He's like, I just remember I got up and just tried it up, and everybody thought I was funny. I was like, that's because you got a gap in your tooth and you got a funny voice. I look like a regular human being. I may have a googly eye because I'm blind in it, but come on now. So I never did it, but I've actually written a lot of jokes, and since I've been in the Hollywood business for so long, I have so many good stories I want to tell, and I feel like I can fast track my way into it because people know me from a lot of shows I've been in. So every time I go to Comedy Store with John or comedy shows and I get a little drunk, I automatically think I'm going to get up there and do some stand-up.
Yeah.
I want to be a stand-up.
There's
and
no fast
just
track.
fuck it. John said there is a fast track.
Well, I mean, no, there's not really. But
You said a year.
what is good is that people will already like you.
See, that's what I'm saying. So I guess I have a little bit of an edge because if you get up there and nobody knows who you are, they're like, who's this fucking idiot? But if
Yeah.
I get up and be like, I'm Lil Kev, or I'm the dude from American Horse, or Dexter, or whatever, they'll be, oh, I know that guy, and then I can just do stupid shit or
Well,
do
that'll
my
be in your
character.
intro.
Right, that's
You don't have to say that.
Exactly. So I'll have the MC say,
Yeah.
this so-and-so from
No,
here,
that's
and I'll
Lil
do
Kev.
that. And so I wrote a bunch of stuff, and I've been passing it off on John, but John's always out of the fucking, always out of
You have to
town.
go
Always
try it
go.
out in front, just to, like get up in an open mic and just say it out loud a few times.
Yeah, absolutely. So I
Right.
became friends with the dude, the owner from Ha Ha Cafe.
Oh yeah.
So I've been doing that, and So I'm gonna eventually go and do some open mic nights, but I need John to go ahead and get me down to a 5-minute set because I told him my story and there's some funny stuff in there.
Yeah,
but
you got great stories.
I don't know all,
whittle it down.
Yeah, I don't know all the points. Like I need a beginning, middle, and end. Like I'm telling
Yeah.
John this, and John's like, "Where's the where's the punchline at?"
He goes, check out this stuff I wrote, and he started telling me. I was like, where's the
Yeah.
punchline? But that will just happen.
Yeah, you need to just try it.
You just got to go up there and throw shit
Having
against the
him
wall.
tell you
Right.
don't need that. You have
Yeah.
to just try it and fail, and then try it again, and then do better that time, and then do better the next time.
I don't have that much time though, so I just want to fast track this shit.
It's like 10 years every night for the rest. Like that's what stand-up is.
Yeah, Sarah, what was your first time, and was it scary? I was scary, but like, did
Are you talking about stand-up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, I'd like to hear both those.
Well, yes.
and was it
the
hilarious?
First time scary and hilarious because the guy's
Her
dong
first time
not
was
what you
on stage.
expected?
It was weird. There's a crowd of people. It was in Amsterdam.
Yeah. I got paid a lot. I got paid for my first gig.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. My first time doing stand-up was at the Ha Ha Cafe. I mean, not the Ha Ha, sorry.
no.
The Hot Wired Cafe. Nick Youssef.
Where was this
hosting
located
this
at?
open mic. It was on Laurel Canyon and Riverside.
Is it not there anymore?
Not there anymore.
Okay.
It's you know where that Starbucks Center is on Laurel Canyon and Riverside, across from the Gelsons.
Yeah.
Yep.
But like, so if you were just to head east of there, there's like a little house there, and it used to be a coffee shop.
Okay.
And so that was where I went. It was like I found it in the back of LA Weekly or whatever, and my friends had all just kept telling me, and I wrote a joke, and one night when I was like watching the news in my studio apartment that I lived on in like Laurel Canyon and Burbank.
Okay.
And it was $335 a month, my studio apartment. And I was like,
I bet you that place
constantly
now is
sweating.
so expensive.
Yeah, I was like sweating it out every month, right? But the first joke I ever wrote, this is just true, there's like this guy using a nail gun and in LA here, and the nail, I don't know what he was building, like a tree or whatever, and like the nail ricocheted off of the thing and it went up into his eye socket, up into his brain.
Okay.
And he didn't feel a thing. He worked the whole day. So like finally at the end of the day, like has to like take him to the hospital, and he has this 3.5-inch nail stuck in his head, and like no one can believe it. And they're like, I can't believe he didn't feel it. I can't believe he didn't feel it. And I was like, well, I wouldn't be able to feel 3.5 inches if I got nailed. So what's the big deal?
Right.
So that was the first joke I ever wrote, and it worked.
Nice.
So that's actually the curse.
That's
because you write a joke that works, finding another joke that works.
Right, and you get tricked into thinking, well, this is easy.
Well, this one,
Yeah.
I got
and
this.
then no,
Yeah.
it like beginner's luck. Yeah, and so it was quite a while before I think I had another one, and then I started. Me and Anthony Jeselnik started at the same time, and so we used to start getting together and write, and we would write stuff. And he was the first person that really told me, like, you have to write about where you're from.
Right.
And that's when I realized that, like,
Right.
having a daycare in my high school was different.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we wrote this joke that was like, it was always the white girls in my school that got pregnant. It was never the black girls, it was never the Mexican girls, because they weren't allowed in our school. But, it's a great joke. But, yeah, so like.
So is your stand-up? I've seen a little bit of it. Are you more of a joke teller than a storyteller? Or?
Well, now I am. I think you start out as a stand-up, you start telling jokes, and then because that's the first trick to learn is how to write a joke.
Right.
Set up, punch. And I used to practice that. Luckily, somebody told me that early on, and I would sit at the Four Seasons wherever I was working.
Fancy.
Yeah, I worked at the pool,
you worked
Four
there.
Seasons, and the Beverly
Wow.
Hills Hotel for like 10 years.
That's awesome.
And I would have to get in. I would get in at 7 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
When I would work till 3:30 in the afternoon. I would take a shower at work and then hit the open mics for
Really?
the rest of the night.
You just keep going
every
every
day.
fucking
every
morning.
day. And when I got there in the morning, I would get into work half an hour early. I would set up the restaurant as quick as I could, and then I would open up USA Today, because on the second page they have that state-by-state blurb
Yeah.
that would tell you like what happened in every
that's
state,
right.
like a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
tiny. And I would try to write a joke about as many as I could before the first customer came in.
Wow.
And that was so hard, but I ended up like getting jokes out of it. But it just it just put me in this rhythm, and then some of the jokes I ended up keeping, or molding them into my own
Right.
act, and then So I think you start learning to write jokes, and once you write jokes, you can put those jokes together, and that's a bit.
Right.
And because you should be telling a joke every 30 seconds, max.
Should be like a laugh every 30 seconds.
Every 30 seconds,
Yeah.
there should be a laugh.
Yeah.
So, so once you write a bit, then you put bits together, and that's a story.
Right.
So, that's how it all starts. So now I think I'm much more of a bit person.
Okay.
I've definitely now I have 7-8 minute jokes.
Right. But when you're telling those jokes, you're still getting a laugh every 30 something
Yeah.
seconds because
That's packed full of 40, 50 jokes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I'm kind of. I think I was more story first, and then learned how to do jokes later.
That's such a gift because being able to tell a story. See, I don't feel like I ever
It's tough.
had stories to tell.
right.
I still don't. Like I'm still like I don't have anything
Oh,
crazy
yeah. What are you
from
talking-
my
you gotta-
childhood.
Oh, please.
We've just been
You-
talking here for fucking an
That's
hour.
true.
It's all these stories.
me, they're not
Everybody
funny.
has a story.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of
It's all.
Can
Here's
you
the
deliver
thing. The only way if the story resonates is if the people themselves have kind of lived
You
through
gotta
that.
make sure that
That's
they
why it's all
can-
about getting the right audience. That's why a lot of John's fans he has to travel to. Well, no, I'm not.
has to travel.
That's not true.
Has to travel.
Okay,
What a nice
I guess
guy.
Jokes will travel.
See, now I'm sounding like
I'm going to help you.
I'm sounding like a dick, but I'm just telling you. Like John, he's got a lot of fans out here too, but he travels because
I want a last comic standing in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I
Boom.
think his jokes resonate everywhere. I think, but like, you're right. Like it seems like your material has to relate, but people relate even if they haven't experienced it. They know what you're talking about. It's like I'm pitching this show right now about the military and like military jokes,
right.
and originally, like it's a special that's like basically jokes about the troops, not just for them.
Okay.
'Cause everybody does specials for the troops. I'm like, nobody's doing material about them,
Right,
which is
right.
like that's the material that they fucking love.
Yeah. Yeah.
And at first they're like, well, that's a real niche, and I'm like, yeah, but that's like 50 million people niche. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, I mean, if you don't want 50 million viewers, fine. If I'll take it somewhere else.
Yeah.
And all they want is fucking jokes.
Yeah.
Because I did a
All they
show. I did a
want.
show on Fox a couple years ago
Enlisted.
called Enlisted, where it made fun of the military.
I loved that show.
Oh, thank you. Bless
Kyle
your
was
heart.
on it. He was a regular.
I played Private Dobkiss. I've been drinking a little bit.
Oh wow.
So
I don't think
I was the redneck white rapper guy, basically, and I actually didn't even rap on there, only like
Not
one time. I was
on
just the dumb
Enlisted?
redneck. Yeah.
No, did you rap on there? Not unlisted.
Well, I did a rap video for the show.
I think my friend Julia wrote on that.
Really,
Julia Lillis.
Well, what was the other comedian that was on there that
She
you
was a
met?
blonde.
They were all comedians.
No,
It was Michelle
She's in the name.
Buteau, Ron Funches,
Funches on
Ron
it.
Funches, Honey Funches of Oats,
Yep.
Moranzio Vance.
I'm thinking of the wrong show.
Are you?
I'm thinking of another show, the one that was on Fox.
Was there
Was
another?
it on Fox?
It was
Yeah.
on Fox.
Well, who was like the main, like the good?
Jeff Stoltz.
Okay, yeah. Oh,
It's
yeah,
enlisted.
yeah. Okay,
It was
that
Jeff
is the right
Stoltz, Parker, Parker Young, and then Chris Lowell, and then me and Moranzio, Michelle, and Tanya, and more, like all these people, and all of them were comedians. They were all either from like stand-up backgrounds or from improv backgrounds and stuff like that. So,
Wait, you were gonna say something about the military, like they. That's
well, no,
what they
we
love.
basically, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just saying
Jokes.
we would make jokes about that for them, but we had a military advisor, and he'd be like, I don't know if they like that, and we're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No.
We got together with some of these people. We threw like a party and invited real military people,
Yeah.
and like we want to hear more of that stuff. It's fucking
yeah.
hilarious. All we do is sit outside or be in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
All we want is jokes, something to break the monotony of
Yeah.
sitting out in the fucking desert all the time.
Yes.
I got you right here, buddy. IMDb, enlisted.
There you go, buddy.
You go down. He's like 1, 2, 3, 4.
I can't believe
Right there,
that. I
look.
can't believe I didn't even.
I'm the handsome guy in the blue.
Yeah, I guess
Kyle has done
but
so
you
much
know what, though?
stuff.
I loved this show.
I have a mustache in that show.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
that's
didn't
why.
realize that Buteau was on that.
Yeah, Buteau is on that.
And Moranzio, I love him.
Yeah.
But like,
He came on halfway through. It only lasted one season, unfortunately, because
It was very funny,
yeah,
though.
but there's just that was the thing. Like when I was pitching the show, I'm like, there's so much red tape in the military. You know, you go to perform over there, and like, you know, you go on one base and they're like, don't say any curse words, right? And you're like, oh,
Really?
yeah, of course. It's the military. I better not say anything that they,
Right.
foul.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't want to hurt their delicate
a lot of
sensibilities.
times that's the Air Force, right? And then you go,
Oh, because they're a
and
bunch
then
of
you
pussies.
go, no, there's just
But
like
no,
a
that's what
different,
they-
it's a very buttoned up,
Right.
like flight. Like everything's way more serious in the Air Force because they're dealing with goddamn planes. They're flying $50 million planes.
Yeah.
But then you go to the Marines, right? And if you
Hoorah.
hoorah. And if they don't, who is Army?
Yeah, see,
But if you
very
don't,
similar.
I'm trying to write a bit. You guys should help me about how how every branch is like a specific superhero. Like the Army's like Batman because they have the most money.
Now, I don't mean to
and the
cut you
most
off again, but in that show Enlisted, the writers did that, and they made me a superhero in one of the acts. And I remember I was like helping out because we were called the rear D, the D list, the people who stay home from the Army, who are like all the rejects, and we help out all the people around the base. So I was a super Dobkiss, and I put a cape on me, and I would go around people's houses and fix their cars and meals and stuff like that. And I was like, Super Dobkiss, here to help, and I'd walk away. Anyway, blah, blah, blah.
hilarious.
But no, but like that was your character was a. You mean each branch is its own
I'm
superhero?
saying
Yeah.
that the Army's like Batman because they
Yeah.
have the most money, but they have no real power.
Okay.
And like
The Army
Marine-
Rangers, they would be so mad if you said that.
Yeah, but the Marine. Listen,
Okay.
Keep
the
going.
Marines are like the Hulk. You know what I mean? Because like they're super strong but super aggro, and like they're always waking up the next day with like their clothes shattered and like what happened?
Yeah.
the night
They're
before.
fucking jarheads.
Yeah.
Keep going. Air Force.
Let's see the Air Force. The Air Force.
What's the Falcon? Is there a Falcon thing? A Falconeer?
No.
Isn't there like a Falcon stupid hero? Like one of the Avengers is a
Oh,
Falcon?
the Air Force is like Superman
Oh,
because
there you go.
obviously they're known for flying, but really they never report because he worked at the newspaper. Superman worked at the
Oh,
newspaper,
okay, yeah,
and
yeah,
just
yeah.
like Superman working at the newspaper, the Air Force never really has to report because they also have like the shortest what is it called when they're
Penis. Shortest penises.
No, they're sent overseas. Like whenever they're sent on
Shortest deployment.
deployment,
Right,
they
right,
have
right, right.
6 months.
Right.
But the Navy is the one that I can never figure out because the Navy, it's like you think it would be Aquaman,
Right, that's where
you
my
know,
head went.
But then I'm like, then I'm like, well,
How about that dude
I
from The
thought-
Shape of Water?
I thought Superwoman or Wonder Woman, because they have the coolest outfits. They're pretty. They're
Yes.
pretty feminine, and people also forget that they fly cool ass planes.
Uh-huh.
Um,
And you want to...
and they're gay. No, I'm just joking. But like,
there's a semen joke in there somewhere.
yeah, I don't know. And like,
Well,
but I
they're
just-
all on a boat. What do you expect them to do? They're trapped on
that
a
was the
boat.
one
They're
that
just
I
going to
could
bang,
never-
bang, bang
So
like
if anybody's
rabbits.
listening to this and they think of a
Oh, yeah.
superhero that the Navy is like, let me
Holler
know,
at us.
and I'll do it on the Navy special, and I'll just shout out your name.
What
after
about-
it,
can
and
they
nobody
be,
will know why I said somebody's name, and I'll just know. Me and you will know it was you.
Can they be Big Gay Al from South Park? Hey, y'all, let's go for a ride on my Big Gay boat ride.
about the Navy,
I'm Big Gay
though,
Al.
is
Yeah,
that
that's a perfect superhero for
The
them.
Navy
Superhero
is like,
Big Gay Al.
The Navy though is so dope. You know what I mean? Like the Navy is like a really, really difficult branch to be involved in. And like every branch is difficult, but like the Navy always
That
gets
one,
shit for
I
being
think,
gay.
would scare me more.
The Navy, but they're like
If I had to join one of those branches.
they did this whole story on This American Life about those boats that have crashed and killed different troops
Submarines,
on the they're just been like the warships, you know?
U-boats.
Just like would randomly crash.
Yeah, and like or just
I can already
crash
tell
into
him-
another boat.
I love getting on her nerves already. I just keep saying stupid shit.
Yeah,
and I can hear
yeah. I'm like,
you
that's
fucking
incorrect.
asshole.
Incorrect.
Let me finish.
That's what the military is. It's like incorrect.
Yes.
My
Incorrect.
uncle's a 2-star general, so I know
Yeah,
a lot about
just
shit.
right.
Well, my whole family was in the military except for me
There's a hero right
because
there.
I got beat up and I'm blind in my eyes, so I couldn't join.
That's right.
Yeah,
True
that's
story.
Yeah, the American Disabilities Act does not go into the military.
They really don't let you join if you have any
No,
ailments.
yeah.
That's why supposedly Donald Trump didn't join.
I almost
because he has a
joined.
flat foot or
Well,
something.
that makes sense, though. You don't want somebody with Parkinson's shooting a gun.
And small hands. Small fat fingers and stuff like that.
I'm not saying Donald Trump has Parkinson's.
He would hold the gun. He just couldn't. He couldn't hold the gun. His hands were too tiny.
If you got Parkinson's, be my bartender. You know what I mean?
That's
Shake,
funny.
give me a martini.
Sorry, I cut
Shit.
you off. Oh, I just got it. Bang again.
Bang!
Remember when Michael J. Fox had that new show coming out? And I was like, we were all
you had
working
that
on the
story.
burn then, and we wanted it to be called Shaking Bad so bad.
Shaking bad.
I feel so bad about saying stuff
He
like
should
that.
do a shake and bake commercial. Shake and bake.
Michael J. Fox has the most sense of humor about having Parkinson's.
He does it all the time. He makes fun of it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fine.
And by the way, like a lot of comics who ended up with Parkinson's, like killed themselves.
Right.
And he's living with it, and he's like
Right.
a pioneer. So
He did lots of coke.
I'm one of those people like
Yeah.
I'm down
Tons
to
of
make fun of
cocaine.
things, but I
Parkinson's comes from coke as well. It's
Does
not
it?
just
I think
genetic.
you might be
no,
right.
Nelly, I'm
Yep.
fucked. I always feel
You got to define.
I always
yours.
feel that if I make fun of people with disabilities, that it's going to happen to me for some reason. So I never do that. And yet my most famous character is a retarded rapper, and I don't say the R word a lot, as
Except
I
for
just
just
said
now.
right now. But I always feel like if you make fun of somebody in a wheelchair, you're going to end up being paralyzed.
Well, it's okay if they already do it.
right, and there's yeah.
That's what I think. You know, like Michael J. Fox. He already
Yeah,
makes fun
they
of
have a sense
himself.
of humor about it.
And you know, if that's what you do. If you're like writing a roast
Yeah.
joke, I mean, you got to do it.
Absolutely.
I've gotten in enough trouble lately about jokes.
Oh,
I
God.
got in trouble with NASCAR the other.
You did?
Oh, I got to hear this.
You heard about
I
it.
want
You didn't hear
to.
about
Can you
it?
tell me
I
about
don't know
it,
what
though,
you're talking
please?
about.
Well, yeah, I'm not really
All right.
technically.
How long have we been going
How
for?
much more longer can you go?
I mean, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I should leave soon, but like,
That's what she said.
We're at an hour. Okay.
it didn't matter what I was gonna say. You had that
Just-
joke ready.
I had-
She
well, you
physically did just say that. That is exactly right. She did just
I'm
say
basically Steve Carell. I don't know what to tell you.
I went
that. NASCAR joke. What'd you do?
Well, they brought me on NASCAR Race Hub on FS1 to like roast a bunch of the young racers,
Right.
young up and coming racers, because they're trying to get more hip and involved, and so you know.
So get
I go on as me, it's fucking me. The roastest with the mostest. Like, obviously, you get what you pay for, which they paid zero, right? So, but I still, wrote a bunch of really funny jokes, I thought. But I made some jokes about Daniel Suarez, who is the Mexican driver. He's from Mexico. He was born in Mexico. And I made a joke that... I was doing superlatives, and so his superlative was least likely to hit a wall or get close to any wall now that Trump is president.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's a joke about
That's a
Trump,
good joke.
first of all.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, here we go.
I said, I'm just happy he's driving with insurance. And people got very upset. And
Because Mexicans
Fox-
can afford insurance, whatever. Like just all illegal immigrants without
it's
insurance.
just stereotypes. It's like
Yeah.
And first of all, stereotypes are funny because they're not facts.
Uh-huh.
If you act like they're facts, you're the problem.
Right,
I'm
right.
making fun of them
Yeah.
because they're
Yeah.
ridiculously untrue. They're based on facts, but they're
a
not
lot of them
facts.
are, but you're pointing out the ridiculousness
I'm
of it.
pointing out how ridiculous
Yeah,
they are.
yeah.
So some white guy on Yahoo
Of
wrote an
course.
article calling me racist
Oh,
and
God.
Fox racist. So Fox had to take the video down, apologize to NASCAR.
I didn't know this.
And by the way, Bubba Wallace is on the show laughing his tail off, right? Jeff Gordon almost peed his pants.
Uh-huh.
You know Jeff Gordon is like
Clean cut, fucking
so
American.
doesn't laugh at anything.
Yeah.
He might giggle, but he is like all American.
Yeah.
And
Rainbow.
I'm like, they got mad at that. I can't tell you the jokes that I had written down that I
Oh
did
my
not
God.
say.
So
Jeff
Fox
Gordon
Sports
looks
won.
like he has sex with his socks on. You know what I mean? Like,
It's always the white people who fucking ruin everything.
100%, dude.
white people love to get offended.
Yeah.
And people have to remember that just because you're offended doesn't mean you have an opinion. That's another thing. And also, when you act offended on behalf of another race, you're acting as if that race does not have the ability to defend themselves.
Right, which is more racist.
Which is extremely racist.
yeah.
you
It's
know? Like, I'm
narcissistic
like, what-
and racist.
Yes.
Yeah.
When did this come though? Because it seemed like in the past 15 years, it started everybody. Anything you say, everybody's offended by it.
Yeah.
anything.
I
it
get
doesn't
attacked
matter
on
who.
Twitter by my own people,
Uh-huh.
people who I follow because we're on the same page, when
Right.
it comes to politics or social politics or whatever. And then I say, like, I'm going to watch Roseanne because I grew up on it. And they're like, fuck you. You hate transgenders. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
God
Like,
almighty.
nobody
Shut
said
up.
anything. I'm just excited about the show. Becky and I were the same age growing up. I learned everything on that show.
Wow.
Like,
I think it's going to turn out awful, though.
It's
people
getting
are
ridiculous.
just so sensitive and they're so ready to be offended.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that is what is bothering me. It's like, and
I don't even think they're offended.
No, they're not.
I think they're
I
doing
think they
it-
just want to just stir
Tension.
the pot
No,
and just like
I think-
point out like a hypocrisy in someone.
they like to be,
That they think is
they
hypocritical.
like to feel like they're somebody's hero.
Yeah.
They like to feel like they're better than, that they're not the problem
Right.
when they're creating the problem. But also, people get offended because they're worried someone's going to think that they're not. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
It totally
Like,
does.
they're worried someone's going to be
You
like,
are-
why
that's-
aren't you upset at that?
That's the best
Right.
thing I've ever heard explained that way.
Yeah,
It
you
is
have to
so
make
fucking
sure
true.
everyone.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I'm on record
Right.
saying I
Yes.
think this is
so
racist.
that way
This is
they won't
wrong.
know. They'll think that I'm not racist, even though I
Right.
really am racist. Because everybody has a racist thing that they say, but that's true though.
But the thing is, you're not like.
It's not even necessarily
the
racist,
essence
Right,
of
it's just-
friendship is if I can make fun of you and you can make fun of me and nobody's upset. That's the essence of friendship. And so, I mean, I'm literally talking with Bubba. I don't want to say anything about because Bubba Wallace is like the first African American driver in a long time.
There's a great
and he's
documentary about
dope.
him that's
And
coming
he's
out.
so funny. He drives for Richard Petty. He's amazing. He has this great sense of humor. We talked about all kinds of jokes before the show. I ran my jokes by him. He loved this joke that I had about him about how he's never won a race because he's going to get pulled over after the third lap. He's like, that joke is so fucking funny, but my mom will kill you if you say that. And I was like, all due respect,
Yeah.
And Daniel Suarez did not get that same thing.
Yeah.
But neither did the other 7 drivers that I made fun of for being super white
Mm-hmm.
or virgin or dumb. So like,
So we can't ever watch this video now because they fucking took it down.
Yeah, and it was by far one of the best things I've ever done on TV.
What? All of it's gone, or just that one joke?
No, all of it.
God damn it!
Do you don't have a copy yourself?
No, and I wouldn't put it back up. But like,
Yeah. Just curious.
but I will just still say the jokes on stage.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Nothing. You can't stop.
Yeah, but
That's
I just
funny.
said, like but that really is true. What I was saying is like, I feel like in my shows too, because I'll say things, like people just assume when you're Southern, like our own stereotype is being dumb and racist,
Right.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Right.
Like people assume my friends and family back home are just walking around saying the N word all day, which is ridiculous because normally they're shouting it, and
See?
that's a joke because that's not true.
Exactly.
Obviously. It's a
Right.
stereotype that is not
We're
true.
playing into what
unfortunately-
we're playing into what they think.
Obnoxiously over the top,
Right.
Which is exactly what I do with everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow when I do it but people won't laugh because they're afraid that if a black person
Yep.
Right.
sees them laughing, then that black person
Right.
will yell at them.
Right.
And why are they afraid of being yelled at? Because they don't know shit about black people and they don't believe they can defend themselves
Right.
in that argument. And I know I
That's-
can defend myself.
That's the core of
That's the
all
core
of
of
it.
everything.
John, Sarah, I have a question for you. So, and this happened a
I've
couple
had
times.
this argument with Oprah in my head like 80 times.
Oh my god, Oprah! I think Oprah would stick up for you.
think
By the
she
way,
would.
Oh, I think she would.
so I have a question. So I do a lot of karaoke because I love karaoke, and I do a lot of rap karaoke,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of rap songs have the N word in them.
Yep.
And so I had to make a conscious
Yes.
decision. So I'm at this place that's no longer there called Sardo's, and there was right.
Yeah.
Not there anymore?
No, unfortunately, it's got torn down. They had porn star karaoke.
Porn star
was the fucking
karaoke.
best. Gone
Did you ever hear about
I
that?
used to love Sardo's. No, I didn't hear about the
That was
porn star part, but
hilarious,
yeah.
actually.
Every Tuesday.
It's sad and hilarious.
Taco porn star karaoke. Anywho,
Pink taco porn.
I was
Tuesday.
singing a song. I think it was by
NWA.
I don't even
Was it
remember.
by,
Anywho, I was singing a song, and
NASCAR with
there was
attitude?
two black dudes right in the front audience, and I knew the song had the N word
Yeah,
in
and
it.
you knew it was coming.
I knew it was, and I didn't know what to. I didn't know what to do because I was like, do I censor myself? Because I'm not saying it to be racist. I'm saying
Right.
it because it's part of the song.
And if you
it's
censor
not
yourself, it's almost
not
like saying,
bleeped out.
I am
yeah, And then
racist.
I thought the same thing, and I was like, if I say I'm like rapping, I'm like, yeah, and this and that, then they would be like more offended because like,
Right.
oh, because so I was like, split second, I said, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking say it because I'm not directing it towards them or anybody like that. So I didn't really look, but I could tell they like were aghast. But then they're like, "Yeah, dude, yeah."
Like
Well,
maybe
that's
if you're
good.
good as a rapper,
Well, I
then
am
it
pretty
might
good,
be
but
okay, yeah.
But I didn't know what to say though, or what to do because
Wow.
you get put in that situation.
I think-
and I have no
I think
idea
it's
what to
different
do.
for everybody. Like it depends on your own
Dude, that's
comfort
brave,
level,
by
with
the way.
whatever. It's very brave.
The only reason I brought that up because I just read in the news today these students just got in trouble today for saying an N-word in a song that was like this thing by Chris Brown and some other guy. I'm not really familiar with the new
What do
rap
you mean they
people.
got in trouble for saying it? Like
It was this all-girls softball or basketball team, and they were singing a song, and they uploaded it to YouTube, and they're singing along
And
with the
it's
song.
in the
They say
song.
the N-word,
Right.
and now they're getting all in trouble, and they're probably going to get suspended
Only because it's on social media.
Because they're saying the N-word along with the song.
Are
right.
they all white?
Yes,
Okay.
but that doesn't.
No, I mean,
still, that-
no,
that-
I'm
the-
not agreeing with you.
The
I'm
fact
just-
that you said they're all white, that's what happens though. People are like, well, they're all white, they must be racist because they sang that song.
No. I mean, I can.
It
I
just-
mean, but I understand. Like, I can understand like where it's all.
I can understand that too, but then I
I'm
also
not saying that the outrage is correct.
No,
but
they're not
I just
valid in their
understand-
outrage,
I
but that's what it
understand.
is.
right.
Yeah, like
If it were all black softball team, no one would. You wouldn't even know about it.
Well, of course not,
Of course not.
because I don't
That's
know.
their word.
Just the whole thing is.
Well, if they're an all-white athletic team of any kind, they can't be that good.
It can't be that good. Right.
Well, especially if they're girls.
Couple of dykes that live next door.
See, you guys can't see me. I'm pointing to Sarah, joking. I'm not really meaning this, so don't get offended by what
Yeah,
we're
I
saying.
mean, I think
please.
it's like I don't know if I definitely couldn't say it, but also can't.
I mean,
rap.
that's why I don't
And
watch
don't-
WNBA.
Yeah,
because
I don't ever say it in a country song when it comes up. You know, I never sing. it.
Oh, Nelly. Well, the only person who does that is Hootie and the Blowfish,
yeah.
a.k.a. what's his name?
Does he say
Darius
that?
Rucker.
There you go. That's
What are
kind
you
of
talking- he
racist
doesn't
in
say the
itself.
N-word, does
No,
he?
he doesn't.
Oh. I was racking my brain.
Come on, you gullible motherfucker. By the way, John's
Racking
wearing.
your brain through Darius Rucker.
All
songs, like,
of
which
Darius Rucker's
Could you
music.
imagine him performing at the old Opry House? And
one?
he's like,
Hold my
N-word hand.
N-word.
oh, Lord.
One side is white, one side is black. Oh, my N-word hand. I can't say it.
I can't say it either.
I can't.
But I also can't say the P word. I don't like the B word, the BITCA. I don't say that word. There's
Are
lots
you
of words
being
that I don't
serious?
say. Yeah.
So wait, you don't say pussy or bitch? Mm-mm. Why not?
I just don't.
Do you say the word moist?
Oh,
I say moist.
Moist? Moist?
Like the French
When
version.
a lot of girls, and maybe you can explain this before we wrap this up. Why do girls not like the word moist?
It's very visceral and it just sounds vulgar, especially coming out of a man's mouth, especially yours with a mustache.
I kind of have like a full beard going on.
Yeah.
Now, but
Yeah, I don't know. They're just like something. There's just some words where you're like,
I feel like, but if you're just like, oh God,
Well,
that,
now, what
like,
if you're talking about a sponge?
well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Not
well,
like
no,
sex.
not even
that's
sponge,
not
but
the
like a
same.
cinnamon roll. Like, oh my God, that like it was so moist inside
Yeah.
and like it was buttery.
I
and
don't find that wrong.
Okay,
But-
so in sexual context, it's not good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't walk
If you're
around.
like, she was so.
Yeah,
You
no, I don't know any guy who goes like, "Oh my God,
First off, I've never.
we were so hot and heavy,
Yeah.
she was so moist."
I've never
one
heard
guy's ever said that.
Never heard a guy say that. They say wet.
Wet.
Come on, no.
Yeah, so I
Sorry.
don't know. Moist
We're-
is.
I think we're.
Wet. That's what my boyfriend says when he shoots 3-pointers. What? Like splash, you know, like
splash
like,
wet. I'm gonna say
yeah.
moist from now on.
Moist.
Moist.
Oh, or remember what's his face said? Rain dance.
Rain dance.
Rain dance.
No, that was
Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yep, from
Rest in peace.
what movie?
The one with Ben Stiller.
And it's called
Don't know.
Hoosiers.
No.
I have no idea.
You Gullible Motherfucker.
Yeah, there's just certain words. I mean, there's, and that's just my own preference. I think
Yeah.
whatever your preference is, whatever you're comfortable saying out loud, that's up to you.
Yeah.
Whatever you're comfortable.
And what you're comfortable, whatever. If you're comfortable with whatever backlash might come.
yeah.
Now, if you're cool with
You
it,
have to
then
be okay with
fine.
whatever
Yeah, you have to be cool with
comes with the territory. Like,
Yeah.
just like we know when I make those kinds of jokes, I'm confident saying those jokes. I apologize that people got offended, but I'm not apologizing for writing that joke, and
Yeah.
I'm not apologizing for saying it
It's
because
we think
it's a
joke
joke.
first. joke first.
Yeah, I'm like,
The
what's
laugh
funny?
is more important than anything.
Yeah.
I don't
Now,
feel that
could
you
I
should.
write written a smarter joke that wasn't based just on Mexico? Like, I don't know. That was just like the easiest thing, and that was maybe different than all the other people. That it made him more fun to write about because it was a different angle. Like when you're roasting somebody, you find one thing about that person, and you just kind of like twist at it. Like there was a guy who's like,
That's why it's called a roast, people.
yeah, well, but also at a roast they get a rebuttal.
Yeah.
So it's technically not a roast if he doesn't get to say anything back.
Okay.
It's not fair.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a one-sided roast.
He didn't get to say anything back.
No.
Right. Because
You
was
know,
he
he
even
wasn't
there?
No,
Oh,
he
okay.
wasn't there.
But technically, he
No,
could
I'm liking this
refer
even
back
more. I
to
really
the
wanna
joke.
see this
He
now.
could refer back to your first joke about the 3-inch thing. See, now I'm being racist because he has a.
But he couldn't because he wasn't there.
But he could after he didn't.
After it never airs on television.
Yes,
Yes, he was deported. That's why he was.
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding.
I was actually talking about the black guy.
I did a roast for a Speed Network one time, and it was for Denny Hamlin, right? Mm-hmm. And it was Budweiser's.
Not like methamphetamines.
No, that's a different
Bless your
network.
heart.
That
Bless
one's
your
canceled.
All I was
That
thinking
one's on
about
real late at night.
was me chopping up the stuff in my bathroom, snorting it, and I didn't understand it.
Speed, which is now a Fox Sports 1.
Right.
Had a roast for Denny Hamlin, NASCAR driver, blah, blah, blah.
I like him.
I was one of the guys who roasted on the dais, and Earthquake was another one.
Oh God.
Jeremy Hotz was the host of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Very bizarre.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube. You can find this. But so I'm writing jokes as you would do for everyone, not just Denny Hamlin, right? And I knew that they're all going to come at me as well for Hemi stuff and
Yeah,
redneck,
of
blah, blah, blah. And I had one joke I was going to do about Earthquake, and I was really nervous about it because, he's the only black guy up there
Right.
at a NASCAR roast.
Right.
And how do you ignore that? Right?
Right.
So
And you shouldn't.
Exactly.
No.
So, like you, I may have gotten in trouble for this a little bit, but Earthquake laughed his ass off at it, so I know it's fine. So I said, blah, 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 and Earthquake is here. I don't know why they call him Earthquake. He looks like a mudslide.
That's a great joke.
Big laugh.
You want to write
But
jokes
the white
about-
people are the ones that are the most nervous about it.
Of course.
Of course.
And
Yeah.
he loved it.
Because they're afraid, again, that if they laugh and he
Then they
says,
look
why
racist.
were you laughing?
Right.
They don't know what to say.
Right.
Whereas if he said that to me, I'd be like, because it was funny.
Yeah.
Do you not realize that you're black? I don't think that that's different.
I think
like
people,
I think
yeah.
people, when people say like I'm colorblind, I don't see color. I'm like, fuck you, man.
Bullshit.
I like that we're all different. I like, I don't like that we're judged based on it. I don't want it to be a precursor based, but. I think just as a woman growing up, and I grew up poor, I just feel like I had to fight so hard for everything, and not that in any way resembles the struggles that black people have had at all. But I just feel like I like being a woman. I like being different. I like the world at odds against me. I like having to fight harder. I'm not saying that anybody else would like that.
Yeah.
But I just think it's beautiful that we all look different, and especially when we start having babies that are mixed and like how beautiful they are. Like
Yeah.
I just think it's awesome. I think we should celebrate our differences instead of being so afraid of them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bless your heart.
I don't know how you end a better podcast. That's words to live by.
Fried Brinkin Duddies.
Boom.
Man, we're so political.
We are
and
deep
racial.
fried.
Deep, yeah.
So stereotypical Brinkin. When you do drink, you just you always get into like
honestly,
weird political debates. And
For
shit.
me, I'm already on. I had like 2 double vodkas and a beer, so I'm fucked up.
Yeah. Kyle's
I have to go
in
to a
his zone
concert.
right now.
yeah,
You
which I should go.
seem no,
I'm
you're
fine.
not. I know you're not drunk, but
I've only had like half.
but you're definitely comfortable.
Yeah,
I like that.
relax
I like
now.
that. Well, there's the recliner mostly.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
So, I for Sarah Tiana and Kyle Shea Donkey Davis, my name is John Reap. You were just listening to the deep fried Brinkin Duddy podcast for your earbuds. Any last plugs? Any last plugs?
I always say this. I love you.
Kyle loves you.
So does Sarah.
And the radio up, I like to see the sunrise, see the love in my woman's eyes, feel the touch of my precious child. No mother's drink ain't enough, Jack, you better make it 3. I'm gonna get drunk, I'm gonna make it real clear. I want one bourbon, one scotch,